I'm going to go back and look and see what number 3 said. Okay, use the article experiments to answer questions 3 and 4. So I'm only going to be looking at the article about Joey. So it says, describe one of the lunch experiments that Joey does. I'm going to go back and look at my text. What does he do? Well, the story starts off. It says Joey once again had taken his entire lunch plate and mixed all the food together. It was his favorite thing to do at camp. Today they had spaghetti and meatballs, green beans, cornbread, and chocolate cake for dessert. Joey had started by mashing the cornbread and chocolate cake together. He stirred the green beans into the spaghetti. Finally, he took all the mashed up chocolate corn cake combination and sprinkled on top of the spaghetti and meatballs. Now he had one dish. Chocolate corn cake flavored spaghetti and green bean meatballs. So all of this, yuck, all of this is going to help us answer number 3. So I'm not going to copy that entire paragraph because that's just not good use of our time. I'm going to be a little bit more brief in what I say. So, and I definitely need to use PQ. Well, describe one of the lunch experiments that Joey does. So I'm going to say these words. One of the lunch experiments that Joey does. So one of the lunch experiments Joey does is to mix spaghetti and meatballs. With green beans mashed up cornbread and mashed chocolate cake. So I paraphrased that and put it into my own words, what was in that paragraph there that we looked at the beginning of the story. So that should take care of this. So I did explain what one of his lunch experiments was. There were other experiments that were complained, but I only needed to explain one of them. So I'm ready to move on to number 4. So number 4, again, is the rates response. I could tell because it says support this conclusion with evidence from the story. So the thing that I'm looking at here, it says that Joey has fun doing lunch experiments. So I need to prove that he's having fun doing these experiments. And I'm going back to the article to look. And there were a couple places that I saw some evidence for this. So I could tell that he likes doing his lunch experiments because he has this. It was his favorite thing to do at camp. So that's going to help me answer number 4. And also, if I keep reading down here into the paragraph, Joey did something like this pretty much every day. It's an experiment, he told the table, like what we do in class. It is fun. So if you think something's fun, you might keep drawing it over and over again. So this is evidence that I'm going to use to incorporate to my answer for number 4. So once again, it is a rates response, so I'm going to need some more space. I'm going to go to my notebook paper over here, and I'm going to answer number 4. So remember, I've got to restate my prompt. So I'm going to say, Joey really has fun doing lunch experiments. Again, this is like combining the R and the A, so restating the prompt and answering the question. Let's see, this is going to be highlighted green because it's our topic of our paragraph. And then I'm ready to give my text-based evidence. So I'm going to talk about what was in the second paragraph, and I'm going to say, in the second paragraph, comma, it states, comma, quotation. Now remember, these are the author's exact words, so I have to say exactly what the author wrote. Joey once again had taken his entire lunch plate and mixed all the food together. It was his favorite thing to do at camp. That's the really important part of that quote right there, because it shows that he enjoys it. So I'm going to switch to my highlighter so you can see that I'm getting my text-based evidence in there. And once I explain, or once I write down my evidence, I have to explain it. So now I'm going to say, these are my own words. I'm not using quotes anymore because this is coming from my head. This explains that Joey tries this regularly. Did you notice it said once again? Because he likes it so much. So it's just a brief explanation there. And I'm going to highlight it. Now, this is supposed to be red, but it's more magenta, purpley, but that's okay. That way you could still read it. There's a little bit more evidence, though, that I want to include. So this is more like a RATETES response. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to get some more text-based evidence. And in that paragraph, it said, it's an experiment, he told the table, like what we do in class. It's fun. So I'm going to state that by saying also, there's my transition. In the third paragraph, Joey states, okay, this is where our conventions get a little bit confusing. So I'm stating what the author says, but the author is writing what Joey says. So I am going to have quotes for what the author says, and then I'm going to have a little line right here, and it's a quote within a quote is what this is. So it's just like the apostrophe symbol. So it's an experiment. So again, these are Joey's words. Instead of quotes, remember they're Joey's words, it's quotes within a quote, so I just have another line here. He told, whoops, I need my eraser. I erased a little bit too much. There we go. He told the table period. Now he starts talking again, so I'm going to put that little mark there to show that he's talking. Like what we do in class, period. Here he says the words, "It's fun." That was important for answering our question, for giving evidence that he enjoys doing these lunch experiments. So I'm going to end what he says. I'm also ending what the author stated, so I have my end quotation there. I know it looks funny, but that's what we need to do. And then this is text-based evidence, so I'm going to highlight it yellow. By the way, you do not have to be highlighting if all this makes sense to you, but if it's something that you're still not quite comfortable with, highlighting the colors for the rates response can help you. Okay, so I've stated my text-based evidence, and now the E part of rates, I have to explain it again. So this explains that Joey just enjoys experimenting at school and camp. Okay, so it was a brief explanation of what that quote meant. I'm going to highlight this with my red, my version of red. And now I'm ready to wrap up my writing by putting on the S part of rates, which is the summary sentence. As you can see, Joey likes doing his lunch experiments. And that will be highlighted with green because we're reminding our reader of what our topic was for this paragraph.